Hey guys, welcome back for another video. This one is about the Rome performance task in which you'll be creating an educational website. You really want to take on the role that you're creating this website for 7th grade students and that you're working for the US government and you are setting up finding the background research for like a museum or like a website that will educate the public on a topic of your interest on Rome. The original unit essential question was, how did the Romans lay the foundation for Western civilization? And the transfer goal for the unit was to actively participate in the process of research-based inquiry. So as part of that, we're going to take you through the iSearch process here. So brainstorm ideas that interest you on the topic of Rome and refer to the potential research topics on page 3. Select the idea that you find to be the most interesting and then brainstorm what you know about the topic. That's the first step. So on page 3 here, you're going to choose from one of these 8 different topics. And then within that, these subtopics is what you want to narrow down to. Like, are you interested in the gladiator games? Are you interested in how students learned in Rome? Were their schools? What were they like? Who were their teachers? What subjects did they learn? Or are you interested in, something with like what kind of clothing they wear or wore or what kind of houses they lived in? So you really want to narrow it down to one of these subtopics within the topic. You would then write the name of your topic here, like say sculpture. And then what do you already know about Roman sculpture or about sculpture in general? And you would type 4 to 5 lines here. Now this is the key for the first steps, is to write 2 burning questions that you have about the topic. You want to use how and why as the starters of your questions because they're more open-ended. We don't want any kind of question that we can answer with a yes, a no, a name, a date, anything like that. It has to be a more complex answer requiring explanation. So it shouldn't be like, who was the first Roman emperor? And then you're like, okay, it's Augustus, done. That is not the research project. If you are stuck and you don't know what to do, you can refer to the list of potential questions which are posted along with this module. That might help you narrow it down. You then need to get that approved by me. However, if you're working at home today because you're absent, you might want to continue on and begin your research on your 2 different burning questions so that at least you have something done. And then be aware that you might have to adjust and change your questions when you meet with me. Okay, so you still need to get that checkpoint approved eventually. The next day when you return to school. So once you write your 2 burning questions and I've approved them, or if you're working at home, then you would type or copy and paste the burning question down here at the top of the research notes here, and the second burning question on the second set of notes. You always want to keep your questions at the top to keep them on your mind and thinking about the fact that your notes should help you answer the question. They should provide either a direct answer or context to help answer the question. You see here there's 3 different rows, so I'm expecting you to use 3 different sources. Use your lateral reading and click restraint skills to find 3 credible sources. This is one of those places where you could achieve a fatal flaw, so you want to avoid that. A fatal flaw would be if you have information from a source that is not credible or if you mix up your sources. So you must be 100% sure that the notes that you take over here belong to this source that you got over here. Say it's like history.com/Caesar. I don't know the actual address. You would have to copy and paste it from your address bar up here on the website. But once you know you've done lateral reading and you've checked that source out and you're sure that it's a credible source, then paste the source here and take your notes over here on the right side. You will need to do that with 3 different sources for each individual burning question. So 3 sources and sets of notes. And you want to fill these boxes up, and it's okay if you go on to the next page even. And then again, for your second question, 3 sources and 3 sets of notes. Again, try to fill the box up. If you have direct quotes, put it in quotation marks. If you're paraphrasing, underline it so that you know later which one is which And when you type it up, you know to put things in quotes that are direct quotes. And when you're paraphrasing, you know to give the source credit and say, like, history.com says the following. That's enough to get us started, and that should be good for the first few days of the project. Once you have your research completed, you will need to have that signed off on by your teacher before you move on to the research summary. So I will be back again on another video to talk about the research summary, the reflection, and how to submit. Before you start typing and as you're doing your research, make sure you read this first page of the rubric, this first box of the rubric, and that you're aware of this box of the rubric too, which is how you are working in class using your time wisely. That's 15 points. And at the end is a checklist that you could go over before submitting the final product. But I'll go over the checklist and the reflections in a future video. I look forward to seeing you back in class soon, and hope you have a great day.